All right, David, let's talk about the other thing that's flying high this week, which is the S&P 500, my friend. Did you know that
my favorite.
stocks are at all-time highs? And I
by a lot too.
Yeah, let's look at this chart. Look at this chart. This is S&P price. It's just barely off its all-time high, I guess, in the last couple of days, but I mean, look at this, man.
It's at its all-time highs. It's at all-time highs. And so this is there's a big decoupling going on between the crypto markets where we ran up from, below $1 trillion to almost 1.8 trillion, and now we're down to 1.6 trillion. And everyone's super bearish and they're like, "Oh, is the bull market over?" Meanwhile,
that's what Jim Cramer says, David. He said it's over. He said Bitcoin is topped.
Meanwhile, the trad markets are up only, and Bitcoin and crypto at large has been more coupled to trad than not as it's grown bigger. And so I think this is just perfect signal of just we had this run up in price. We're recovering from the Bitcoin ETF party. We're a little bit hungover at the present moment, but overall, markets are definitely healthy as a whole. Risk on assets are definitely a thing. We still got the Fed pivot.
Bitcoin's down over 20%, 25%, something like that.
Yeah.
People saying it's over. I mean, look, I am no trader, and you don't get trading advice on Bankless, at least not good advice. Generally.
That's for sure.
That's not why you're tuning in every week. But this one is so easy to freaking call,
This is
David.
so easy.
The answer to the question is it over yet? Have we topped? The answer to that question, let me give it to you.
Is no.
No,
it's
we have
no.
not topped. This is so easy. This is just this is what you see. Bull markets will give you opportunities. They will give you shakeouts.
Real dumb ones.
They will give you times where it's going to go down 20%, 30%, 40%, right? You could even see 50%, and it definitely depends on the asset, right? But what this is sort of a shakeout. If you're still a buyer, a net buyer, it's a buying opportunity. That's all I see. I don't know. Look, could be wrong, but 98% certainty, we ain't seen the top. This would be the dumbest bull market ever, and it would just be contrary to all of the ways everything has ever played out in crypto. Now, the only thing I'll say is black swan event aside, something crazy could happen. You never know, but you can't price that in. You can't price that in.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. What? No, totally. It's going to take some time for the GPTC outflows to cease. So that is an open wound that is currently bleeding. It'll take 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, I don't know, 2 months. And then eventually it'll stop. And then there will continue to be flows into the Bitcoin ETFs, like the BlackRocks, the Fidelities, the Bitwises. And also there's the whole concept of a Bitcoin ETF. It ages like wine. There's a 6 month period where people are just looking at it and be we're gonna revisit this in 6 months. We'll just buy in 6 months. There's a age like wine kind of thing going on in TradFi.
Yeah.
And so
I still think
it flows into the Bitcoin ETF or nonstop.
If you're here, the nice thing about this is it gives you some time, because now I think mainstream is just they're not interested in the Bitcoin ETF as much right now. Because why? Because it's not pumping. Price isn't pumping, right? So now they have a product they can buy, but when they'll want to hit the buy button is when this thing shoots up, right? That's when you get the texts. That's when everyone kind of piles in. These markets are so reflexive.
Can I give you a prediction, Ryan?
Yeah. What's that?
So markets have memory. We all just watched the Bitcoin ETF happen. Now the ETF approval is going to be a known sell the news event, and we have the ETH ETF later this year. There's an update for that later in the show, May or August or something later this year. It'll get approved probably this year, most likely, more likely than not. And then the market is going to be it's going to be a sell the news event because of how the Bitcoin was a sell the news event. Except we also have the ETH trust. It's just meaningfully smaller than the GPTC trust. And so I think my prediction is more the market's just going to be kind of confused going into the ETH trust, because the ETH ETF approval, because they're not going to know. It's not going to know if it's a bullish or bearish event. It'll be more muted going into it, but then post it will be more bullish. Is what I'm saying, is my prediction.
David, you're getting dangerously close to trading talk, my friend. All right.
Hey, these are words, not actions.
Oh, you're just going to hold all the way through that. And
I'm not going to do anything about it.
That's the way to do it, man.
To continue leveling up your crypto game, then you need to get on the Bankless newsletter. It's the world's most popular crypto email and is completely free. Just click below to sign up.